Hello. Welcome to the KEEDOH podcast, episode 3. Today we're going to talk about art, like our art.
Our
Our art. Today we're going to talk about our art.
Our art.
And just like our creative process and what goes into it. Just the things we like to do creatively and why and how and when and where and who and all that good stuff, just good stuff, art and stuff, it's great. Yeah, anyway. So, as you guys know by now, KEEDOH is our group together, our brand, our connected, creative, whatever, and we both do a lot of different art stuff. I make music primarily. I also draw, paint a little bit, and then just writing. I don't really release too much of my writing, but I write to myself a lot. And what do you do? What do you do?
So most people know that I paint. That's like my first and main thing, painting and drawing. But then what, you show a painting? Yeah, I guess so. It's an old one. So yeah, I paint and I draw. That's kind of like where I started. And from there I went into film, which is like a really huge thing. Like, I'm filming this right now even. What? And film, and I've recently gotten into digital art and animation. But I also really like music, and I play several different instruments. That was like, I used to do a lot more music when I was a kid. And I write too, scripts mostly. I do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I just do, if something comes to my head and I want to do it, I just start doing it. Like, recently it was like stipple, ink drawings, and I've been teaching myself After Effects recently. What else? I don't know, I do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I just like to do everything.
Yeah, we've both just been creative for our whole lives,
Yeah.
like since we were literally children. So it makes sense that we do a lot of different stuff, and that's part of the reason why we created KEEDOH, is so that we can just put everything under one lid. And I know that there's definitely people that are interested in multiple different types of art, like not just music, not just art, or not just drawing, not just, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And even this is like art, just like this podcast. This is like another kind of art form.
Yeah, it's a form of expression.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Just speaking, because that's like, we started this because this is like an art form that we both really like, just the art form of like speaking.
Absolutely.
Because I would love to do lectures, and we would both love to be stand-up comedians one day.
Yeah,
so
that will happen.
Yeah, this is like an intro to that.
Yeah, because I think like I said, I do write sometimes, but I feel like I'm a better thinker than I am a writer.
That's the thing we have in common.
Yeah, so I feel like just talking is a better way for me to get my ideas out than like sitting down and being like, all right, what am I gonna write about? Like, I feel like just getting it out is like, and then reflecting and fixing it up is like the best way for me to get stuff out. Even that's how I make music too. Like, I do a lot of stuff just like what? No, yeah. Well, the main way I create music is I try to think as little as possible. Like, lately I haven't been doing so good with that. I've been kind of in like a little creative rut, I would say, but I think it's just because I'm thinking too much. Like, I've gotten into a habit of just like overthinking what I'm doing. So the best music that I've made is the stuff that I literally put no thought into, and I just was able to just zone out and just channel whatever and just create something. And I think that's always when the best stuff comes out. So I think this podcast is a good way to practice that.
Yeah. And
just like not focus on, because we'll think of like the general idea for what we're going to talk about, but we don't plan what we're going to say or anything. So, and we just like, whatever it ends up being is what it ends up being, and that's kind of the mentality that we're going to take for this forever. So I think this is a good way for us to practice adopting that mentality and applying it to all of our other forms of art. So
yeah, what I was going to say is, so far the people that have been watching this have been like my family or like friends, and I know that a lot of them don't know you very well or like at all.
Yeah.
So you should go into like your music and stuff and like what you make and like how you started, because you've been doing music. Like I've been doing art in general my whole life, but you've been doing like very specific things for a really long time.
Yeah, so I've always been into music since literally as long as I can remember. Like I was one of those little kids just banging on pots and pans back in the day, like when I was a child. When I was really, really, really young, probably like, I don't know, like preschool age, I was really into this singer named Raffi. He was like a little kid singer, like he would write like little kid songs. And my parents bought me this like little toy guitar, and I had like a little mic stand, like a fake mic stand, because he was just like a singer-songwriter type dude. So I guess technically the first instrument I played was guitar, or like attempted to play. So I would just like strum along to the songs and just like try to sing along when I was a little kid. And then I was really lucky that in first grade my parents bought me a drum set. And then once I started playing drums, my dad was a drummer too. He was just my main influence for music was definitely just my dad. Like he played drums in a band when he was younger. He's not a bad singer either. He can play guitar a little bit. Like my uncle is an incredible blues guitar player. So I've definitely just been influenced by my family to do music, and even my mom and my mom's side of the family, they're all artists too. Like my mom's a painter and stuff. So I've just always had art and music in my blood, I guess. So yeah, did drums for a while. I wouldn't even say that drums are my main thing anymore, which is kind of interesting because
that's true.
I've dedicated so much of my life to drumming, and
I feel like you just are a drummer.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to like drum every day.
Yeah.
Like
it's just like how
I mean, I guess you do drum every day.
Yeah. I guess
you
so.
like tap on things.
Yeah. I was always
things.
all throughout school. My teachers would always complain about me tapping on the desk and stuff. But yeah, like a lot of my friends growing up were drummers. I think the first band I was in was like I was in like 6th grade and I played drums. It was like me, my friend playing guitar, and my other friend playing bass, and it was just like I don't know, like rock stuff, like whatever we were into at the time, like drop D, like bar chord kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so I played drums all throughout forever. I was in a hardcore band with one of my, like a metal band, but I played bass in that. So, and then I also played drums in like a blues rock duo, like White Stripes kind of stuff, like garage rock kind of. Yeah, and then all throughout school I was doing classical percussion. I've always been studying classical music as well. I went to college for 2 years to study classical percussion and performance and education, marching band, you know, all that good stuff. So I've dedicated my life to music my whole life. But then I just I don't know, I guess the older I got, I just slowly started liking people less and less. And I think that is part of the reason why I started making beats and like making music on my laptop. Because I like the idea of having full control of everything and just like doing everything myself. And I like the idea, it feels more like when you're playing an instrument, like you're being creative, but it's like also there's a performance aspect to it that's really important. But I feel like with making stuff on my laptop, it feels more like I'm composing, because I'm not necessarily performing the music, I'm just creating the music. Yeah. And I think creating is more important to me right now than performing. So I really like the idea that I can just make whatever sounds I want pretty much. I don't have to worry about buying equipment and like recording mics, miking my drum set, like miking an amp. I can just do it all like right in my laptop.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically that led me to making electronic music and hip hop and all different kinds of electronic based music. And now I'm also rapping and singing to like add another dimension to my music. So yeah, and that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, I always think it's interesting because when people hear of someone who like raps or makes electronic music, they think of it as so just like immature and surface level, but you come from such like a deeply rooted like classical like trained like very like you know what you're doing, and people don't always think so lowly right now of electronic music. Well, older people mostly.
Yeah.
And even some people our age, but
Definitely.
like people don't think of it as being something that you have to be good at. They think you're just like pushing buttons, and you are, but you're doing it in a really musically intelligent way.
Definitely.
And people just don't know that.
Yeah.
But if you were to listen to your music, you can tell. Like you can definitely tell.
If you know.
Yeah.
You can tell, yeah.
Like if you were to listen to your music and then just some random kid that makes beats, like there would be a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest thing with me is, as far as I don't even know, like I always have trouble explaining to people what I do because I don't really know what to call myself, because I don't feel like a rapper, I don't feel like a singer, I don't feel like a producer. I don't really like produce music for other people. I mostly do it for myself and just a few handful of people that I know or that I just really fuck with creatively. So I never really know like what to say, and I wouldn't even say that I make just electronic music or just hip hop or just, I don't even know, and that sounds so like pretentious and lame, but like
artist.
Yeah.
But I mean you are though.
Yeah, I would just consider myself a creator, like an expressionist. Like I'm just trying to find the best way to express myself, and I think it's a constant process that's changing and evolving always. So
yeah, I usually just tell people that you make music mostly electronically right now, hip hop influenced, and that you sometimes do your own vocals over the top of it. That's what I tell people.
That's pretty much what it is.
Because that's like the most simple way to like capture the very complex thing that you try to put together.
Yeah, and I think I really don't want to. I don't want to label myself as a rapper because people have these preconceived ideas of what a rapper is supposed to be.
And you're a white guy from New Jersey.
Yeah. Not that even matters.
I know, but it's just like that's like such a stereotype.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I think I'm definitely not at my peak creatively. I think I still have a long way to go. I'm definitely a work in progress still. I don't think I've made my greatest music yet. I don't think I'm even close, really, honestly. Like, and I think I'll. Oh yeah, I was kind of saying this before. I was gonna say, a lot of people who consider themselves producers or beat makers, it's like they have one thing that they do. They have one style or one type of music that they make, and then people like it because it's just the one thing. Like they're looking for just that one thing. But I've never been like that. I don't. That seems so limiting to me. Like I don't ever want to limit myself creatively. So I think that's why like I've already like changed my name kind of once, because now I go creatively, musically I go by Bobby Jr. But when I first started taking beats seriously, I was going by Hoax. And I feel like when I was making Hoax stuff, I was strictly doing instrumental music, very hip hop influenced, like sampling records, like more like old style hip hop, like just more sample based hip hop, which is like more, it's been done kind of thing. And I feel like that's definitely my roots as far as production goes, but I don't want to just do the same thing over and over again for the rest of my life. Like, especially because so many people have already done that, I want to try to do something that hasn't been done. I'm a very forward-thinking person when it comes to art. Like I don't want to turn into like a novelty artist that just is recreating things that have already been done. I want to try to do something that hasn't been done and push music and art as a whole forward. So yeah, and I feel like Hoax was more of like almost like a character that I created in my head that no one really else knew about, but I saw it that way at least. And I feel like the reason I changed to Bobby Jr. is because I want to just be me. I want people to just see me. I want people to just get to know me and not like something an alias that I've created. You know what I mean? So, and not to say that I won't ever release music as Hoax anymore, because I still definitely make instrumental music, but I just don't want I don't want to step side to side. I want to keep moving forward. So unless unless I'm doing something that I feel like is new for Hoax, I probably won't release new music because I don't want to just put the same music out over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so much more interested in Bobby Jr. stuff now, because I feel like that is where I'm getting new ideas and I'm trying new things and I'm experimenting and I'm feeling more satisfied with that music because it's new to me.
Yeah.
You know?
It's way more open. Like
Yeah.
you like were playing your guitar, like you do different styles. Like,
Yeah.
I've noticed that you experiment way more. And maybe
Definitely.
it's just like where you're at that coincides with the name change, or the name change like encouraged that, but like definitely now like you do a lot more different styles, which I think is more fitting
Yeah.
for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're both very similar that way in that we don't have a style.
Yeah, definitely.
Like our style is not having a style.
Our style
which
is
also
that-
sounds lame. We sound really pretentious, but like
Maybe we are. I don't know.
I mean we're not, because it's just like I feel like when you're pretentious, it's like you're trying hard.
Yeah.
This is just us.
Yeah.
Like we both just don't have a style because we just.
We would never want to limit ourselves to that.
Yeah, I can't make you throw up.
Because I think some people choose to be an artist, maybe it's like a choice where they're like, I want to be an artist because I want to live this lifestyle, or I want to be an artist because I don't want to have a job or something like that. And I think I feel the same way, but I didn't choose to be an artist.
No, I have to.
Yeah, I didn't make a conscious decision to be an artist. I've always been an artist.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people that are, I think everybody is an artist in a way, like.
But so I see some people choose to do something else. Like I almost chose to go into like a different field, you know what I mean? But and I would still just be an artist. But being an artist captures my life so much that I can't really do anything else. At least right now.
Mm-hmm. And I think we said this either in the first podcast or the last one, but obviously we aren't making any money off of our art yet, so we have to have like jobs to support ourselves financially. But I mean, I know you feel the same way, but I can't have a job for the rest of my life.
No.
I would just wither away. Like, I think everybody that has just a boring job eventually just withers away. Like, I know people that are twice my age that are less developed than me because they've just been doing the same thing forever and they never let themselves grow and change because they're just comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to have an art job though to be happy though. I don't
No, I agree. I just think that there's, all right, to each his own. Everybody's different, obviously. Like that's not what I meant. I didn't mean to come off in that way where like, if you have a job, you suck. Like, obviously there's certain things that are necessary for the world to function. Like I always say, like anybody who directly works with people, I have so much respect for, like a nurse or like a psychologist or like any type of work that you're doing where it's not like the byproduct is helping people. It's like you are physically directly helping a person. I can't do that. I would never be able to do that. So clearly there are people that are meant to do that and should be doing that. And that also coincides with like how I feel about school. Like school is just not for me. I tried school. It just wasn't for me. But there's some people that, like my sister, for example, she wants to be a psychologist, so she has to get a degree to be a psychologist. So school is right for some people, and I feel like there might be, I think it goes both ways, where sometimes there's people that they feel like they should go to school, and they really shouldn't be going to school, but they're pressured into it.
Or it's just not the right time.
Yeah, or it's just like, eventually you will need to get a degree, but maybe right in this moment, it's not the right time for you to do it. You know what I mean? So it really just comes down to what you truly want to do, and like, what?
You're like giving like a sermon right now. It went from you talking about your music to like giving a sermon about like how to enjoy your life.
I can't help it. Like, I don't know. Like
Sunday mornings with Bobby and Annie.
Like, that's kind of what it is.
Service,
yeah, this is like our church.
Yeah, I mean, I always call you Jesus because you like talk in parables and you like always like give sermons and you're always like trying to help people, even though you talk so much about how you don't like people and you don't like being around people. You're very helpful. Jesus probably didn't like being around people. That's why he went off on his own for 40 days.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're Jesus.
You know what it is? Like, I love people, but I hate society. And I think a lot of times, like, even within myself, I confuse the two. Where I'll think that I hate people, but really I hate what society has turned people into.
Yeah.
Because, like, there are plenty of people in my life that I love, but I just don't necessarily seek out new people because I don't trust people. I don't trust anybody. If I don't know you, I don't trust you. Like, even if I do know you, I probably don't trust you. So I just don't want that in my life. I think it really pulls me down. Like, I feel everything. I feel everybody's pain. I feel everybody's emotions. So it's just hard for me to interact with people sometimes because I feel too connected to everything. That sounds really weird, but like, I don't know.
I feel very similarly, but for me, it like.
I feel like it like drives you more.
I was gonna say, I feel like it feeds me.
Yeah, it like wears me out.
Yeah. It's just we're just different that way, but
Yeah.
like we both feel the same way. Like we love people, and we feel so connected and emotionally connected. But for you, it just like tires you out.
Yeah.
And for me, it like really like energizes me and inspires me, but then extremely tires me.
Eventually, it tires you.
Eventually, I get really grumpy and irritable.
Yeah, the energizing, inspiring is like a split second, and then it goes right to.
I feel like for you, it's like more long term.
Yeah.
Like for me, like in the moment, it's like very, very inspiring, and like it continues to be. And then after a while, and then long term, I get kind of grumpy and irritable because I like can't handle all that.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, right away, maybe it's inspiring, but it's also like you get grumpy and irritable because it's like too much. But then in the long term, it like inspires you.
Yeah.
And this is all really abstract, so sometimes I talk really abstract. I can't, even later when I listen to myself, I don't understand what I'm saying. So I apologize if no one understood any of that.
I think people will.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just start talking. And
The people that understand it are the people that.
Probably the people that are watching, which is like my family and friends who like are used to me talking really abstractly,
Yeah.
vague, and with my hands.
And if you don't know us, you'll get to know us through this. So. But yeah, all right. Well, let's try to like bring it back a little bit.
Okay, so we're talking about art.
Yeah. Okay. So.
We're talking about music.
Yeah, I think I kind of explained, and then.
Like I guess tying music and people together. Like you went to school to be a music teacher.
Yeah.
That's like because you briefly mentioned that you went to school.
Mm-hmm.
You went to school to be a music teacher, and that's like putting those two together.
Yeah.
In a way, it just like didn't work out, which is.
Yeah.
Understandable.
One of my biggest passions besides music and art is just teaching. Like I love working with kids. Like I used to work at like a little kids party place and with like big inflatable slides, like birthday parties and stuff. Like I just love working with kids because I think in a lot of ways they understand the world more than adults do because
they're better artists.
Yeah.
They're the best.
They're so pure and they don't. I think with kids, like, they see everything how it is. They don't have all these filters that society has put on them where they're like, oh, I can't do this because I've been told that this is this way. Like, they don't have any of that. So I think I get a lot of inspiration from working with kids, and I feel like I learn from teaching kids. Mm-hmm. So for a while, I thought that I wanted to be an elementary music teacher because that combines those two things perfectly. Like, but the further along into school I got, the more I realized that the public school system is just really fucked up, and teachers are treated like garbage when they should be getting paid as much as doctors because they're the ones responsible for the education of humanity. They're the ones who are creating the adults of tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, so they should be held on a pedestal and be given more benefits and more pay.
They are in other countries.
Yeah, but just, I mean, maybe one day I'll teach in another country or something. I don't know, like.
Oh, let's just both move to a different country.
Yeah.
I'll be an art teacher, you be a music teacher. Because I also wanted to be an art teacher, but I was very close to a lot of my teachers in like high school, middle school, and elementary school. And my mom, hey mom, she is a paraeducator.
Oh, is it gonna stop?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
In an elementary school. So like I was very like wrapped up in the public school system. Like I understood it very quickly and how awful it was, and all because I would always think in my head when I was in class like what I would want to do as a teacher to be better than the teacher I had, like what I would want to do with the students that would make it even better. And then I quickly realized that the reason my teachers weren't as good as I wanted them to be was not because they didn't want to be better, but because they couldn't be better. And I was like, if I can't be the best that I can be, then I can't do it.
Yeah.
I would not be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There would be no way. I would quit after 1 month.
Yeah, neither of us can handle mediocrity.
No, not at all.
I would rather completely fail than just be mediocre.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't just want to barely do what I want to do. That'd be so awful.
Yeah, I have this like conspiracy theory that art classes in public schools are purposely made to be shitty and make kids not want to be artists so that they can just be cogs and just get fucking stupid jobs and not be who they really are. But like, I mean, who knows?
That's why it's so wonderful when there are really good art teachers.
Yeah.
Like I know of 2 very wonderful art teachers. One that I'm still very close with.
They're just rare.
They're just so rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, which like because I feel like so many artists love teaching people.
Yeah, definitely.
Whether it's just like an art class or just a friend, and you would think that there'd be so many really good art teachers out there, but I only know like a handful, and the rest make me so sick and make me feel so sorry for the kids that are interested in art and then get turned away from art classes, because I was one of those kids where I loved art, but I was turned away from art classes by some awful teachers that I had in my life. And like, I think it's great to be just like a pure raw artist, but at some point if you really want to pursue it, like classes are so nice.
You need
and
both.
Just like having the tools and like a mentor, you need like a mentor, you know what I mean? It's so helpful. So I just feel so sorry for all the kids that they get so turned off from art classes just by teachers who are extremely, extremely mediocre and don't try. Or teachers who don't have the materials or the curriculum to even try.
Yeah.
It's both.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, with all things considered, like we said, we both know that there are a lot of incredible art teachers out there, and there's probably even more that we don't even know exist because of what you said, how they are being hindered by the system. Yeah. Where like they would be a better teacher than they can be because of fucking rules.
Which is good that they are trying, because
somebody has to try.
Yeah. We can't do that.
We can't do it, so somebody has to do it.
I'm glad that there's people out there trying.
Yeah. Alright.
This makes me upset.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else you want to talk about your music? Like anything that you didn't get to touch on? Where were we at? Yeah.
Is it gonna stop at 30?
Well, we're like halfway through, so then like it doesn't matter if it stops.
No, I'm just saying we're gonna have to restart it.
Restart it?
Like, remember how last time it stopped at 30 minutes and then we had to like record it again?
Oh, maybe I'll do that.
Well, I guess we'll all find out together.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to, for both of us, I wanted to talk about like our creative process more and just like.
Well, I didn't get to talk about my art.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to know if you were like finished talking about just like your music, and then we can.
Yeah, I don't really know. I think I didn't really like know. I don't even know what I said and didn't say. So I probably.
Did you feel satisfied?
We've been recording for a lot. I think I probably said enough.
No, I just wanted to. What I thought would be a good idea is you talk about your music, and then I talk about like a little bit more in depth than what I already did about my art, and then you can talk about like our creative process.
That sounds good. See, look, we don't plan anything.
I had it all planned out in my head.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
See, it's like almost 30 minutes. Like, I'm not like that at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so my art. So, I'll just start talking if it stops.
Yeah.
Stops, and I'll start over again. So like Bobby, I was very interested in. I don't even know like a time in my life when I didn't do art or know about art. Like, I think all kids start drawing and stuff, but my parents really, really encouraged me to do everything. Like, I remember being a kid and asking for toys and not getting them, but I remember that I always had art supplies. I always had those big, like, cases that you opened up, and there's just so many art supplies. Like, I don't remember ever...
Okay. Keep going.
Yeah. Okay, so...
There was a pause.
So as a kid, I remember that I always had art supplies. My parents made sure that I always did, and I really thank them for that, because toys aren't necessary, you know what I mean, but art supplies were very necessary for me to like create and be encouraged. Like I always had the best gel pens, like from Costco. It was like
Did you ever have Milky pens?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that was like a thing back
Yeah.
then. Like everyone would like draw on their skin.
Yeah, I had gel pens. My dad and I, when I was like in preschool, we would make like masks out of construction paper. We'd make masks out of construction paper that were like really crazy. I remember like making stories and like comic books. I remember always having like a notebook with me everywhere. So I never thought about when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I never thought I want to be an artist when I grow up, because my parents kind of instilled in me that I just was an artist. Mm-hmm. Because I saw my parents doing art, but they did other jobs, and I thought of them as artists. Because my mom does like beadwork, and she does sewing. Then my dad loves to draw. He's way different than me though. He does like mechanical, like engineering kind of drawing. Like I remember him drawing castles and stuff. And even my older brother, my dad's a drummer. I'm also like Bobby, where I come from a very like heavily artistic family where my dad, he started off with guitar but didn't like doing chords, so he switched to drums. And then my whole dad's side of the family, like my grandma, she's a painter, and then my dad's like brothers and sisters all play like guitar and like sing and do all that stuff and draw. Like my uncle's really good with like visual effects. And then on my mom's side, my mom is just Native American, and Native Americans, that's also like a Native American idea, is that art is just a part of your life. Like like the pottery that like holds your food is like artistic, and so that whole side of the family is just artsy too. So like I grew up with this idea that I just was an artist. I didn't have to try to be or like do anything about it. So when I was a kid, what I wanted to be first was a zoologist. Like I wanted to work with animals. And then I also wanted to do a lot of different things. Like always as a kid, I wanted to like make pizza. I wanted to be a music conductor.
Work at McDonald's.
I wanted to work at McDonald's really bad for a while. Like I got really excited when there was a McDonald's being built down the street from my house. Like too excited.
How old were you, think?
I think I was like 5, and I thought it would take like 10 years. I didn't know how long it would take to construct a McDonald's. I thought it would take like 10 years. And then by the time I was 15. Yeah. I'm gonna be the best player. My parents are like cracking up right now because they always bring that up like all the time. I was really obsessed with McDonald's as a kid. It's really bad, but so growing up, I wanted to always be a lot of different things, but I never thought about being an artist. And I even do like dance and stuff. Like I did ballet when I was a kid, and I'm a Native American dancer. So my whole life is just a bunch of different kinds of art stuff. And so yeah, growing up, like I wanted to be a psychologist. I wanted to be a doctor for a while. And I also have ADHD, and that's like a thing with people with ADHD, is that they just love everything and want to do everything. But the main thing that's been consistent is just the idea of art throughout my life. And I finally realized that in like early high school, that I can't just be a doctor for a year and then be a music conductor for a year and like make pizza on the side. Like I can't just do all that stuff. Like those things take a lot of time.
It would take a lifetime.
Yeah, you can't just be a doctor for. I wouldn't want to be a doctor. Like I wanted to be a surgeon is what I wanted to be, and I wanted to be an anesthesiologist. I can't just be a surgeon, and I would get tired of it probably in a year. I can't just do that for a year.
Yeah.
I can't just be an anesthesiologist for like a year, because that just takes a bunch of schooling, and then like it takes a lot of money to like pay for that schooling. So I realized that art was like the one thing that was consistent and never went away. And also people and like helping people. I love helping people and teaching like Bobby. So I also realized that there's a thing called an art therapist, which is what I want to do like at the end of my life, I guess, like when I'm like 50 or something and I'm old.
That's
and
not the
wise.
end of your life.
But no, I mean just like the thing like when I calm down with my life. Like when I'm not like doing a bunch of stuff and traveling all over the world, and I want to like calm down and like.
Yeah. But the last thing is the used bookstore though.
Oh yeah, that's like the very end. I'm gonna die in my used bookstore.
When you're like 105.
Yeah. When I'm like 80, I'm gonna open up a used bookstore, and I'm gonna have like a little coffee station, and I'm gonna make coffee for everyone that comes in, and I'm gonna have a dog and an old cat. and they're both going to be named Otis and Blue, and I'll be crazy and call them both those names, and then one day someone will walk into the used bookstore and I'll be sitting in my chair and I'll be dead.
With a cup of coffee.
With a cup of coffee in my hand. That's my dream death. Anyways, so I realized that art was like the thing that I had to do, but I also realized that I needed a job because like I need to make money. So I thought that maybe I could just like paint and make money off of that, but then I quickly realized that I hate making paintings for other people so much.
In the same way that I hate making beats for other people. And
beats
music.
and painting is kind of similar for us, whereas like I'll paint every day all the time.
Yeah.
But like if someone were to be like, hey, can you make me a painting? Like if you've asked me to make a painting, I probably haven't done it, and I'm sorry, but I just like can't. I don't know what it is. I really can't do it.
It's because it feels. Part of the reason why you like painting so much and why I like making music so much is because of the freedom that we feel when we're doing it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we have to do something specific, it feels like a job.
Yeah.
At least that's how I feel.
Because like painting is so dumb. Like I'm literally just putting colors in an abstract way on a canvas. Like elephants do that, I guess, but like people, why do I do that? Like there's no reason to put colors on a canvas, you know what I mean? So it's literally just a way for me to like cope with life, because life is awful, but colors are beautiful, you know? And just like the act of painting is really beautiful to me. So like if someone were to ask me to do a painting for them very specifically, it wouldn't feel the same way. And the reason I like painting so much is because, like you said, it feels really freeing. And for some reason, putting colors on like some flat kind of surface makes me feel okay.
Just okay.
Okay with life, yeah. So then it becomes a job when someone asks me to do certain things.
Or even just an obligation.
Yeah.
Like I hate having obligations.
Yeah.
I hate feeling obligated to do things.
Mm-hmm. And it's really only painting that I feel that way with in art. Like if someone were to ask me to
Draw.
make like a drawing for them, I'd be like, oh, okay, sure.
Or like a digital portrait.
Or a digital portrait, or like, even if, like, because I think of like speeches and lectures as like an art form. So if someone were to ask me to like go give a speech or a lecture or go talk to someone about something, I would feel, I would love to do that. But painting is something that I just can't do for you, and I'm sorry, kind of.
For you.
For you.
The
Mostly talking to my mom, because my mom's always asking me to do paintings, and I feel bad because it's so hard to do them. But I try to remember all the ideas she gives me, so then if I feel inspired to make a painting, maybe those ideas will inspire me. Which has happened. It has happened.
Even the fact that she's giving you ideas is awesome.
Yeah. So then I realized that when it comes to jobs and art, the thing that I'm best at doing is telling other people what to do. I'm really good. I'm a really good leader. That's like I've always been a very good leader. I was an executive member of my student council in 5th grade, one of 5. Anyway, so I've just been a really good leader. So I realized that leading people in a group in an artistic way is something I'm really good at, and I don't feel like it's depriving me of my soul. I feel like because we're all like working together and it feels nice. So then I one day was at home sick, and I decided to watch the behind the scenes of The Fellowship of the Ring, Lord of the Rings. And I watched all of the production design, all of how they made the set, and how Grant Major, the production designer, like had all those hundreds of people put together the beautiful world of Hobbiton and Middle Earth. And I remember laying there sick being like, that's what I want to do. That is what I can do for a job. And so then after that, I really got into film, like more than ever. Like my dad always has showed me like wonderful classic films that are really good and stuff. And I've always really liked films, but after that, I really, really got into films. And then I went to film school in Santa Fe, New Mexico for a year. And then I dropped out because school is also not for me. And I was just kind of...
At least right now.
Yeah, right now. Art school just felt like a game. It was just like fun. It was like, I'm going to do this for fun. And that's what I did.
Yeah. You went to school for your own reasons, not for anyone else's reasons.
Yeah. I just, like, probably if Because like kids today realize that they don't have to go to college. If I was
at least right away.
Yeah, and if I was born maybe like 10 years later, I probably wouldn't have gone to college right away. I probably would have waited and just done other stuff. But I think just because of the timing that I was born and like the people I was around who were all going to like crazy amazing colleges, like it definitely influenced me.
I think we both chose to go to college because we genuinely thought that's what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
But there was a level of peer pressure into it.
I think so.
And not even anyone specifically saying you should do
just
this.
Our environment.
Yeah. I think that definitely takes a good part in our decision.
Yeah, definitely. But I definitely don't regret it at all. I met so many amazing people. Like some of my best friends I went to film school with, and I learned so much. I feel like I went for a year and I learned like an incredible amount.
Yeah.
And it's still something I want to do, but I'm also not worried about time with me in art at all. Like, I'm definitely inspired to keep doing art and to keep doing films, but right now it just isn't something that I'm completely interested in doing, probably just because I'm settling into my job and like I'm kind of teaching myself like After Effects, like I mentioned, and animation, and I'm really trying to just more soak in like life experience, because I can keep painting abstract colors and I can make up film scripts and film stuff, but I want to be inspired by life.
Yeah.
And we're living in Brooklyn, so like, and I'm meeting a lot of new people right now, and I'm experiencing a lot of new stuff, and I would rather like kind of put a hold on like really big creative expressions until I have like some really deep life experiences that I can really take away from.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to approach it.
Yeah.
Because time doesn't exist, and you can't put time limits on creativity, or you shouldn't at least.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you have some type of creative job with deadlines, like that's necessary, but like as far as just self-expression, you shouldn't ever force yourself to do anything if it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Because then you're never gonna make pure art if you're forcing yourself to do something that you're not enjoying.
Yeah. And I also noticed that art for me is, like I said, a way of coping, and right now life is just really good. And right now I just want to like clean our house and like clean the dishes, like make really good meals, like go walk to the park, like ride my bike around, like get new blue curtains.
Oh yeah.
You can kind of tell that we have new curtains. We didn't even, I thought we were going to mention this earlier, but we didn't.
I forgot.
You can kind of tell that they're blue, but they're beautiful. Like they're very beautiful.
And we actually have a bed now.
We have a real bed. If you didn't know, we didn't have a real bed before. We were living like actual artists, like in a studio, like laying on a mattress topper thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad though, but a bed's good. We're not that crazy of artists. We have a normal bed. But yeah, right now I'm just like really content with living, and I'm trying to soak that all in so that if there are times when things get hard and I'm doing a lot of art to cope, I have like past experiences to influence it and make really good art.
Yeah, you don't feel empty.
Yeah, because I really don't like making unnecessarily negative art personally. Like I think it's definitely okay to make really negative art, but for me, I prefer to put out more positivity, but I make more art when I'm negative. So
it's like an oxymoron.
Yeah, so if I'm making art while I'm negative, I want to be able to look at past positive experiences to make art.
Yeah. That's interesting, because I feel like I'm in the exact opposite position right now.
But we're very like, because art is usually comes from like the core of you, and the core, like we seem very, very similar, but the core of us is like the exact opposite. Mm-hmm. Like the exact opposite. Yeah,
like I think for me recently, like obviously the same way, like externally our lives are we live very blessed lives, I would say. Like I think I have no complaints about anything in my life right now externally, but I think just like internal struggle is always a thing, like for everybody to a degree, but I just feel like for me right now,
like right now it's
just where I'm at right now. And I think a lot of I feel like I'm at a place right now where I feel the most inspired to make art when I'm feeling really shitty, you know what I mean? And I think sometimes I feel so shitty to the point where I don't even want to make anything. Like I feel like discouraged, or like not even discouraged, just like I don't know, I just feel like blank or like empty, you know what I mean? And I think like a lot of times like I'll read about some fucked up thing that happened in the world, or like just like I'll be on social media and I'll just see a bunch of stupid people talking about stupid shit, and I'll just think about how awful everything is and how awful people are, and then that, in a weird way, that is inspiring to make art, because it's like a lot of music right now is so surface level and like materialistic and like shallow and just like vapid, and I feel like not a lot of people are talking about emotions. Even it's not even like, I'm not saying like I'm not trying to be some like politically conscious musician or anything. I just want to talk about, I just feel like I should, it's like more broad than that. I feel like I should be putting out what I'm actually feeling. Like I feel like a lot of people feel the way I do, especially people our age. I think a lot of people feel awful right now, like early mid 20-year-olds, like just like not even that age limit, just like people in our time right now. A lot of people look around and they don't see that much good stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that really takes a toll on our psyche and our minds and just like our lives. So I feel like it's my duty to create art that reflects the human condition and like how I see what is happening and what I'm feeling because of what's happening around me. And I think for whatever reason, like I don't feel that positive that often about humanity and society. So I feel like I'm most inspired to make stuff when it ends up being when I feel really negative. And like I've just been feeling really negative a lot lately, so I think, I don't know, like.
But that's what's so nice about us working together, is that we really just balance each other out.
Yeah.
Like in all aspects of our lives, we really balance each other out. But especially with art, we can really work together to make something very interesting.
Yeah.
I keep using the word complex, but like very complex, because
just like
life
shows both sides.
Yeah, life isn't just good, and just showing the positivity is like not always the best. You know what I mean?
Well, it's just not accurate.
It's not accurate.
Yeah.
And then always showing the negative just
it's also not accurate.
Yeah, and brings out more negative. You know what I mean? But like it's very honest. So combining those two is like the best result.
Yeah.
So I mean, imagine if we were both just like extremely negative people. Like our art would be so depressing and like unnecessary. You know what I mean? And if we're both positive, it would seem so fake.
Yeah.
And so like just dishonest.
And I think I'm very, very interested in the concept of duality and like yin and yang, good and bad, because that is life. Life is not just good. Life is not just bad. Like maybe I happen to see and feel more bad stuff right now, but I know that life isn't all bad. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people are either stuck in a negative mindset and they push away everything good, which is like, I mean, I'm guilty of that too. You know what I mean? Or they're stuck in a positive mindset and they push away anything bad.
And they refuse to see anything
They
bad.
choose to ignore bad stuff, but life is bad. Life is good and bad. You can't just pretend that everything is positive. That's not true. That's not accurate. If you think that, you're not accurately seeing life. So I think, so yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why we need to be doing stuff together, is because we both see that and we both understand that.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like our roles are different, but I think as a whole we are putting out both. Where we're trying, we're not even trying to. I think that's just how it's naturally happening, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Just a lot.
Yeah. I feel like I've been talking really fast and saying a lot.
I mean, when we get excited, we both start talking louder and faster, and I start breathing really. I feel like I started running or something.
Yeah.
There was something I wanted to say.
We didn't say hi to Lionel.
Oh, Lionel.
He's here too.
Always.
He always approves of.
Yeah, he's kind of. You can tell he's kind of upset because we didn't say anything about it, but he's happy now. Oh, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. It'll come to me.
Yeah, we covered a lot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything. I don't think I have anything else specific that I want to talk about. So
there was something very specific
yeah.
I wanted to talk about. Oh, I was gonna talk about like just more about me.
Yeah. No.
No, I was gonna say that. So another part of like what I want to do artistically, besides just art itself, is Native American activism is like something that I've chosen to be a part of. Like I haven't.
Me too.
Yes, I haven't chosen to be a Native American, but I've chosen to be an activist for my people.
And I wouldn't consider myself an activist. I don't want to say too much from my own perspective. I just wanted to retract that. Yeah.
I mean, you're supportive.
I'm supportive. I wouldn't
supportive.
Consider myself a Native American activist.
You're one of the most intelligent white people I've ever heard talk about Native Americans.
But that's because of you and your family.
I know, but still, it's like usually like.
I just don't want to. I don't want to speak on something that I don't feel like I should speak on.
But you're very supportive, and that's what's important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like, and I consider that a huge part of just my life, because I think the difference between us is that you often took life and art kind of in parallel paths, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then recently you've kind of made them into one path with like Bobby Jr. I have fully yet. Or closer.
I'm trying, yeah.
Whereas for me, like I said, it's all just one big jumbled mess of my life is just art and like things I like and the people and me and my family, and nothing is separate. It's all connected.
Yeah.
Which is why I've never been one to have like an alias. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I've most of you probably noticed that I use my Native American name on everything, but that's more just because that's considered like my real name.
That's not your alias.
Yeah, KEEDOH Talks. What is that?
Someone just playing music.
It's not that way.
Not yet.
But KEEDOH Talks was a name that was given to me. I guess I'll go into the history really quickly. Yeah. So I've chosen to go by KEEDOH Talks, which is my Indian name that was given to me because my great-great-great-grandmother, her name was KEEDOH Talks. And then when my tribe was introduced to priests and Catholics, they forcibly changed her name to Anastasia. And they did that to all the Indians there.
They named them all Anastasia.
They named them all Anastasia. It's like it's an honor to have that name. No, I remember my grandmother showing me documents when I was first going to be given my Indian name, where there's documents that say KEEDOH Talks. They had like that handwritten out for her, and then there's documents that say KEEDOH Talks and Anastasia, and then there's documents that say Anastasia. That's it. They completely erased her given real Indian name out and gave her white name. So when I was, I think I was like 10, my grandmother and my great aunt, her cousin, decided that it was time that I was given my real name because I was born Anastasia, kind of with the intention of that name given back to me, given back to our family. So when I was 10, I had to go through a naming ceremony, and this probably sounds very like super Native American to a lot of people, but it's a very normal thing, like extremely normal, and every family does a naming ceremony differently, like completely differently. Sometimes you get several different names throughout your life, sometimes you never get an Indian name, like my mom doesn't have one yet, you know what I mean? It's kind of, with our family, it's kind of almost open-ended. So yeah, when I was 10, it was like a huge, long ceremony. It felt like it took 5 days or something, even though it only took one night. And I was given my Indian name, and then now I've always had that Indian name, but just like growing up like in a white area and saying you have an Indian name is like really just like, it's just a lot of attention for an introvert like me to handle. And if I would tell people I had an Indian name, they would ask me so many questions about it, when there's not really that much to say about it besides just the history. Yeah, because like my Indian name doesn't mean anything. It just is a name.
That's like saying what does Bobby mean?
Yeah.
It's just a name.
It's just my name, and the meaning behind it is just the family meaning, which doesn't mean anything to anybody else except for me.
Same with me. Even.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm named after my father.
Yeah, that's the meaning behind your name.
Yeah.
The meaning behind my name is it was a family name, and it was like regifted to me. So, but that doesn't mean anything to anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like, so growing up with that name was like really weird because people would always ask me what it meant, and sometimes I'd make stuff up just to like tease them and mess with them. But people always ask me what it means, and like they couldn't pronounce it, and they thought it was weird. And so it was just like strange growing up with it. And it was oftentimes very strange growing up as a Native American in like a white setting. So now I don't feel that way, and I don't care at all if people don't get it. And I don't care if people can't pronounce it. I don't care if people don't like that it doesn't have like a crazy meaning, like flies with birds or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I just completely tried to embrace it because I feel like I haven't honored the name the best that I could growing up, and so now I'm really trying to give the name like a purpose and really putting it out there. And part of being a Native American activist is literally just existing, because I'm not supposed to exist. My people are supposed to be erased from this country. So part of me being an activist is just existing as a Native American. You know what I mean? Is it gonna stop again?
Probably, but there's still like 3 minutes, so we can always just restart it if we need to.
Yeah. Yeah, because...
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, I'll
Sorry
figure it out.
about... Yeah.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. I just forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so few Native Americans, we're like less than 1% of the population. So just by me existing and saying that I'm a Native American is like being an activist.
Yep.
Because I'm half white, so I easily could just be like, oh, I'm like mixed and I'm white, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I easily could say that and just completely erase my history, but I'm not going to. And that's like part of my activism, is just being a Native American. So for art, mostly, I've chosen to go by my Indian name, KEEDOH, because that like in itself is art.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, so then part of like what I want to do is just speak on behalf of Native American issues, because we have a lot of issues, and one thing I do want to do that stems off from our podcast is create my own vlog where I talk about Native American issues and just being Native American, because oftentimes people think that our issues are only crying and complaining about the land we don't have anymore, or just being poor, or alcohol abuse, or mascots.
Like, yeah, mascots. I was gonna say mascots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People think those are our only issues and that they're petty, but we have way more issues than that. And
get over it.
Yeah, we have way more issues than that, and the things about land are actually very important for not just Native Americans too. And so I want to go into that, but I don't want to like overtake our podcast and just talk about Native American issues. Like, I'll mention it here, but I do want to create like my own vlog.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've mentioned that on Facebook too, that I want to do that. And I do want to do that and talk about Native American issues, because I know that there's people in my life, very close to my life, who are very awful about Native American issues, and it upsets me greatly, and I hope that they watch it. But
they probably, even if they do, never mind.
Yeah, I don't want to
never
get
mind.
that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so watch out for that, because now that I'm saying it again,
watch out for that.
Now that I'm saying it again, I have to do it. I don't want to disappoint my fans. So
yeah, or your fams.
My fams, because it's mostly my family watching this. So yeah, I want it. One day you'll see me, and I'll be like at a TED conference, like speaking on behalf of Native American issues.
Oh yeah.
And women's issues. So yeah.
Hell yeah, baby.
Hell yeah.
Should we just wrap it up?
I mean, were we gonna talk more about our process, or do you feel satisfied with everything?
I think I feel good.
Talked out?
Yeah, we can always just do another one.
True. Yeah.
I mean, we're going about an hour anyway, so.
Yeah. Also, I like drinking coffee while doing this, but it makes me have to pee.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's about the end of episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. KEEDOH. Just find us on social media. We don't have a Facebook page yet.
We'll probably get one
yeah,
soon.
we'll get one eventually. Sorry, I keep looking at the screen. But yeah, so that's it for episode 3. Stay tuned. Next Sunday, we're just gonna keep doing it. It's just gonna get better and better. And thank you for watching.